go live. Let's see what happens. Yes, okay, I think it did start. Perfect, but we are not there yet. I need to activate you and it doesn't let me. I think people can hear us but not see us yet. Okay, I need to go Skype preferences. Yes, somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Avoid legal snipes by telling people they're being recorded. You are being recorded. Okay, that should be fine. So now people should see me, and now people should see the both of us, I think. And
I hope.
let me find the URL. Yes, we are live. Let me find the URL and throw it everywhere. Wow. It should be amazing to have a person that does this while you talk.
Should happen more often.
I don't know. I saw a YouTuber with thousands of hundreds of subscribers, and they still have pain every time they try to do a live. So I think it's just hard. Okay, 2 people watching, that's fine. And now we can spam it around. 1 place. And on the English group. Okay. And I think that's good. Great! Okay, so let's dig into it. Thank you for joining. I'm finding the time, and luckily we're just 1 hour difference, which is really good. Yeah, I need to put the phone somewhere where it doesn't vibrate to me. So I really enjoyed last live, and I actually find them a lot funnier than I expected. And there's a lot more things I didn't know than I expected. And I guess I will start with the same question I asked last time, and probably because that's what I missed the most when I was traveling. Do you have Amazon?
Yes, we have Amazon.
So you can order everything. How does it work? How fast it is?
Well, we can order almost everything, but there are certain sellers that would prefer not to send things to Israel. Either it's costly, or they only send domestically, or some things we can't order from specific sellers. But most of the things we can order.
Okay, so how long does it take to deliver something there?
Well, it depends. Well, I think that the longest that someone would wait is 3 weeks, maybe more. But I order less in Amazon. I order more from AliExpress.
All right. Is it faster?
Yeah. It depends. Some stuff I did get within a week or 2. Yeah.
Okay. So Amazon, well, in London it was amazing, but in here it's generally 2 days, 3 days. And AliExpress it's probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. Plus it's from China.
It's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. So why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any local online system?
Almost every store has an online store. Almost. It depends on the business and what they provide. But you can basically order online almost everything you need. That's supermarkets. That's we have Superfarm. It's for basic toiletries and drugs. Online, all sorts of prescription drugs you can order online if you have the prescription. You just need to advise with the what's the name of that?
pharmacist,
The,
doctor.
the yeah, with the pharmacist, the pharmacist. But as long as you have the documents, you can order your drugs online as well.
Nice. And what about stuff like taxis? Can you get a cab? On...
Taxis, we have Go Taxi or something like that. Get Taxi, which I rarely use because I have my local taxi station that
Okay.
I call them.
Okay.
Good relations over the years. Very old station,
Okay, that's super nice.
but they,
I think Italy
yeah,
worked like that. Like maybe it still works like this. I almost never.
in certain
Yeah,
places.
I come from a small
I
place.
know, I know that in I know that in bigger cities it's less like that, and taxi companies are more old-fashioned. Like in Tel Aviv, it's more of maybe private taxi drivers that work with the Get Taxi or another. There was another publication of another app lately about taxi driving services, but I don't follow.
That's fine. So
I'm
okay, so
very
service-wise, I guess you have everything. Let's give an idea
yeah.
about the country itself. Like how big it is, which kind of
Well,
weather you have, which kind of city should I expect.
well, Israel is about 22,100 kilometers per square. It's a little smaller than
Okay.
Belize in South
Yes.
America,
I don't know how big
but
Belize is, but I
but
guess not too big.
Belize is 22,600
Well, yeah.
kilometers per square meter. So it's bigger than us a little bit, but they have about 400,000 residents, and we are 9 million people and counting.
Right. Well, you have a nice immigration policy.
I, yeah, I think so. We have a lot of foreign
Okay.
workers. They,
Oh, I'm comparing with Sardinia. You're like 1.3 times Sardinia.
yeah, we're not
Well,
big.
you're a
Well,
lot of
we're not
people compared to
the
Sardinia.
smallest.
Sardinia's size is like 1 million, maybe 1.2 now.
Yeah, there are a lot of people here, and it's not only Jews.
Nice. And weather like? Should I imagine like super hot desert or should I imagine snow?
Oh no, the weather, it really depends on on where you live, because you have on one side, you have on the northest side you have the Hermon, which is the highest mountain in Israel, and it has snow on it yearly,
Okay.
and the snow goes all through the ridge and to Jerusalem. But on the southeast side of the country, we have Eilat that borders Egypt, and it's 38 degrees Celsius almost throughout the year.
Okay. That's hot. What about where
Yeah,
you are now?
where I am now, it's near the beach, so it changes. We have humidity, and we are at night. It became really cold actually lately. It's like 14 degrees, but it's a lot of humidity, so it feels colder. The wind can actually go to your bones because it's really cold.
I know.
Um, so a lot of humidity, and we're near the ocean, the beach, the sea. We don't have an ocean.
I, I think
We
I've
have the
seen in
sea.
English people call ocean anything which is big enough not to see the horizon. I noticed that a lot. Like they call the
Okay.
Mediterranean Sea ocean in most, like when you want to rent a house or something.
Yeah, but it's yeah, but it's a sea.
Okay,
We share a sea, actually. You and me, we share
that's
the same
true.
sea.
I think for the way Europe developed, we tend to forget because if you think of the Roman Empire, then then the Mediterranean was a lot more present. And now it
Yeah.
feels like anything south of the Mediterranean Sea doesn't exist for us, which is weird because I was telling to a colleague from US where I live, and I checked on a map. He was like, "Oh, you're on the coast of Africa." I was like, "Yeah, you have a point. I am on the coast of Africa more than I am on the coast of Europe in many ways." So it.
You're it's actually really weird to me that you're closer than most of the countries I've been to, and I haven't been to Italy yet.
Yeah, let's see. But France is because of Corsica. France is 12 kilometers away. So if I go walking around where I am now, I get the France connection on my phone. So it's the closest country.
That's really
It's super
cool.
good, or super bad because with COVID they close in summer and we were used to go diving there. So point of view, severing a border, it's strange. Yeah, it's just crazy expensive to go there unless you have a boat, as usual. Okay, and the other thing you were mentioning when we talked before was the educational system, and you said
Yeah.
actually before that, what is the chair you're sitting on? Because
This is a gamer chair. It
it
belongs to
looks
my
amazing.
husband.
It's like a
It's a
foreign.
dragon.
Okay,
It's a dragon gaming chair that I got my husband for his birthday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really good with gamer gifts. I
okay,
try.
and they're super comfortable. I've no idea. I never had a gamer chair.
It is actually. It has like a small pillow for your lower
Okay,
back as well. When you approach 30, you should start thinking about
I
your back
am
and how
way
you're
over
sitting.
30. And actually, as you can see, I
So
have
am
a
I.
big pillow. Memory foam. Very nice
Oh,
pillow. That I miss when I was traveling.
yeah, we share this chair.
Super nice. Okay, going back to education. So let's start with the basics. Like, which age do you go to school?
Okay, so well, you can decide to leave your kids in private preschool like I did until the age of 5. But from the age of 5, it's obligatory. It's obligatory educational
Hmm.
system. So that's preschool 5 to 6, and then the first grade 6 to 7, and it's the elementary school. From first grade to the sixth grade, it's the
Hmm.
elementary school, and you start at the age of 6. But you have preschool at the age of
So
5,
you learn to
and
write,
it's
I
obligatory.
guess.
We learn to write and kind of read at the age of 5 and 6, but then at 6, the first grade, second grade, they bomb you. From experience, my daughter is going through that now. It's a lot of learning. It's very intensive, and then they start to go on to the usual subjects that we learn throughout the
Okay.
years.
Something I wonder talking about children, because I guess before
Yeah.
internet it didn't matter much, but now most of the internet requires that you type English letters. So
Yeah. My daughter knows English better than she knows Hebrew. Her English is so good that she looked at my phone. She asked me, "What is the fish with the light on?" And then I just opened the photo and I showed her. She just looked at it and she was like, "Oh, anglerfish." It's like she reads English better than she reads
okay,
Hebrew. That's how the internet works today.
so it's Hebrew harder to read as well.
Uh, well, Hebrew is a hard language. It's not that easy to learn if you come from a language where the distinction between male and female and many and the like one and many are smaller, like English. English is very easy because you don't have to make a lot of distinctions between male and female. But in Hebrew, it becomes really difficult, especially for new immigrants from Russia, that it's really confusing to them because it's also backwards from Russian. Some of their words are female oriented and ours are male oriented when you speak in Hebrew. So it's very confusing
Okay,
to
so
them,
every time I hear this,
and I
I
bet
think
it's
of
confusing.
Polish, because Polish has neutral gender as well. And my
Okay.
imagination from Latin, from other languages, is always that neutral means objects. But that's not how they use it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
everything is a gender,
objects.
neutral is a gender,
Mm,
but the mattress is female.
yeah.
So it's completely
Hmm.
arbitrary. It's not that
Okay.
they use neutral for like when a baby's born if they don't know the gender, when a new creature, and they use the neutral for certain things.
We don't use neutral at all because a baby, when it's not born, a baby when it's in the stomach, it's
Okay.
male oriented. We call it. It's an embryo. The embryo, the word embryo in Hebrew is male
Okay,
oriented.
so I guess it's
So
similar to
it's
Italian. In Italian, most things are male as generic, and then
very patriarchal.
in a way,
We have a
yes.
lot
Now
of
they're proposing
fathers.
to use like weird ways, like to remove the last vowel of the word to make it neutral, but to me, it sounds really, really strange. Um,
It's almost impossible to do this in
it
Hebrew
sounds.
because you have the distinction between male and female like very distinct. You can't.
Make an example. Like, how is called a cat if it's male or a cat if it's female?
A cat is a female and a cat is a male. Well, the female cat has the in the end. It's like you call a cat khatul. Khatul is male.
Okay,
Khatula
that
is
seems
female.
easy.
You can't really, yeah, you can't really cut the off and call a female cat khatul because then
No,
it's really
right,
confusing.
right. No, because Italian has like A or O, and they
But I
propose to
call,
remove everything.
yeah. So, but I call my cat and my dog in male, in the male form when I call them cat or dog. When I call them by their names, it's their names. But they are what they are. It's a cat and a dog.
Oh, a special kind of unicorn says, "Hello, my beautiful friend." Nice.
It's my friend Maria.
And Muzer
Hi.
555 join as well. I don't know. I guess you cannot see the comment, but I will read anything they write. I think actually I didn't read the first comment, which actually is that Sardinia is 24,000 kilometers, so it's probably bigger. Um,
Hmm.
okay, going back to the educational system. So children speak English, and I guess they are exposed
Yeah.
to English, and probably you don't dub every movie either.
Not in school. Abigail is a special kind of girl because they're exposed. They start learning English from the third grade, and Abigail's only on the second grade. She's a special kind of unicorn,
Okay.
like my friend, uh, because her mother is a language freak, and I'm a language freak, and I let her listen to Japanese and English ever
Oh.
since she was born. So she knows English way before she should know, and she's going to be very bored in
Well, you can
school.
always send her to study another two languages in school.
Oh, which she will have the option when she gets to middle school. It's either Arabic or French. You can choose.
Okay. Fabrizio is asking which type of history they study in school.
Well, there is general history. It's mostly Jewish history from Europe, mostly from Europe. Uh, I don't remember a lot from my history classes, but what I do remember is European history, Jewish European history, all types of uh, French or uh, German
Okay.
or
Italy by memory, because I've never had to look at it again, but it was practically 4.5 years of European history. And then there was, by the way, there was also
Mhm.
some civilization in Asia and South America. That was the way we studied it.
Well, no, we know about other histories because they teach it to us, but I don't know how much of a big deal they make of it because they teach us mostly about why we are, how we are, and our history as
Okay. And
Jews,
school is
basically.
100% in Hebrew, except the language lessons.
Yeah,
Okay. Do
yeah.
you study religion in school?
Except for
Do you
other
study
schools.
religion in school?
Mm? Yeah, we have Bible classes. It's not optional. It's obligatory. It's one of the obligatory subjects that we learn throughout our
Okay,
12
so it's
years
not
of
religion,
school.
it's Bible. Okay. In Italy,
It's
at least
Bible,
they
yeah.
say it's not Bible, and it is Bible, but
In secular schools, they teach Bible. In other school in other schools, which are more religious schools, they teach Bible and religion and how to practice it with the subjects that we learn, but less of a practical learning of it. They teach less of history and math, and they teach less of it and more Bible studies and
okay.
religion
What
studies,
about
and
sport?
that's in sports. We have sports classes. We can go to we can go and be part of sports teams if we want. Although I'm 1 meter and 52 centimeters, I was in basketball team. And I was also in a
Okay.
volleyball team. But if Yeah, but it all depends on how much of orientation you have towards sports. You can choose to be you can choose to go towards the sports. Sorry, the sports part of it's more okay. The education system here is really it's pointing us towards the things that we want to do in the future as work. So our education system is really propelling us towards it by giving us
Okay.
certain directions
From the first years.
in certain areas of studies. Yeah, except for teaching you how to read and write and do math, they are propelling you towards areas where you'd be comfortable working
Okay.
as an adult. Yeah, but it doesn't always work. I'm an example. Nothing
That's
to
something
do.
I should look even more into, because the difference from country to country about when children have to decide is so huge. Like, I love the American system where you go to
Well,
university and you can
there's
still
a lot.
decide.
No, you can choose whatever you want, but it's subject oriented. You can choose where you want to study later years in high school, but up to then, it's obligatory subjects to learn.
Okay. So, what age do you go to university? I'm skipping for a few years.
Ooh, university is after your obligatory
Oh,
military service.
okay.
or you can go to you can extend your studies to the 13th and 14th year under military funds to get a degree as an engineer, practical engineer, for the army. That's an
Okay, wait,
education
wait. I skipped too
for
many
the
things.
army.
So at 18 is when the school finish and you go to military, or is earlier?
You finish at about 17 and a half, 18, yeah. Depends on if you were delayed one
Okay.
class or not. Yeah.
Ah, because if you were delayed, you go to military after. They wait for you to finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. At that point, how long will be the military service?
Um, I when I was in the military, it was 2 years for girls and 3 years for boys. I think it's 2.5 years for girls now, and maybe a little bit over 3 years for
Okay.
boys.
Is there a way in which people avoid doing the military? Or is there a way to say, like, I
Yes.
want to do something else instead, but you still have to spend 3 years?
Yes, you can. You can. These days, not join the military if you choose to. It's not really choice. You have to kind of convince them that you're unfit
Okay,
for
that's not the
military
same.
service. No, it's not. You have to convince the military that you're unfit for military service, and then uh, you can go on by your business, or you can choose to do um, what you call
Social service.
شروط لومي. شروط لومي is when it's not really social service. It's social services instead of army services. You can volunteer at all sorts of hospitals, schools, even the police, instead of military
Okay.
service.
Joel called it the national service, but he said it's really hard to get
Yeah.
permission to do it. I, I have no idea. Italy, it was like
Uh,
this. You have 1 year military, but you can say that you didn't like weapons and go and help somewhere. I don't know much because they removed it my year,
it's optional.
so I'm the first generation that
Mm.
didn't do it.
I had to go to. I didn't actually have to go to the army. I chose to go to the army, contrary to a lot of people that don't have this privilege
Okay.
to choose. Because my father died in the military service as a
Right.
reserve soldier. I was given the option not to join the army, and so did my brother. I didn't. I didn't take the option. I joined the army, and I needed it actually to grow up and become more of an adult. It made me grow as a person personally.
Once you joined, did you have a way to go back?
Become
Or you signed for 3 years, and at that point it was 3 years of your life?
no. When you sign up, you go, you do your first training, but then on that weekend of that week that you start, you get to go home. It's not like, oh, pack your bags, you're going away, you're not coming back for 3 years. That's
Oh,
not how it happens. No.
and do they pay you in those 3 years?
So you get paid. I'm not sure how much. When I was a soldier, it was very low, very small amounts of money. I got like three. How do I?
No, no, no.
Let me
Just an idea
calculate it
compared
for
to a
you.
salary. Like, do you earn enough that you maintain your family, or just
It's monthly pay, and I got about $91 US dollars a month.
in a country that I think is similar cost to Italy. By
And I wasn't, a fighter. I wasn't a fighter. I was an office worker. I was
okay.
a receptionist.
Wait, what? Well, no,
I
no,
made
no,
coffee.
no. I imagine you like on a boat in missions, not on the phone.
Oh no, no, I'm far from it. I'm I'm a scaredy cat. No, I was a receptionist in an office. Although I was in the army during a war, I wasn't active in it in any way that I'm aware of.
Okay, we got another question which
I-
I make it a bit broader, broader than it is. Like,
yeah.
if you are married, if you have children, is there any other condition that make you not go? Can you even marry before 18?
Yes, we can with parental
Okay,
consent. Without parental consent, we can't.
okay,
Because we're minors. We're not adults until we're 18. That's why we get drafted. When we're 18, we're adults. Um, and when a woman gets married before 18, she can uh, not join the army. But also, if a woman gets married during her service, she gets released
oh, because you go home
or
once in a
gets
while.
pregnant.
Okay, okay. I was like, how
Yeah.
exactly that's gonna happen?
Even the combat warriors in the IDF, they go home at some point. They don't stay there for years. They go home once every 3 weeks, once every 4 weeks, depending on the job that you
Okay,
have.
so it's not three intense year. I mean, you do other things as well.
Mm,
Okay,
yeah,
because I imagine it like Italy, which I think is you go
it's
there, you
intense,
go
but you
back
go.
home like 1 week for Christmas, and then you go back there. Uh,
That's difficult. I know that in Russia they do that too. Like you join the army, 5 years, you're not seeing home,
yeah,
like something like that. I probably exaggerated.
maybe not 5 years. I don't know about Russia, but yeah, I expected something like that. Otherwise, it's a office work.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
and
yeah.
Joel says girls who are religious or religious boys who study in a yeshiva, yeshiva can avoid
Yeshiva.
service.
Yeah. They they can choose not to join the army. They can declare they're religious
So
and not
what is
join the
that?
army.
No, no. I mean,
If
what
you're
yeshiva
really
means? It's a
Orthodox, yeshiva is where well, that's basically for boys. It's less than girls, if I'm not mistaken. But I think for girls too. Anyway, yeshiva is basically where you study your Bible, you do religion studies, you do religion. You're Orthodox. You study everything that concerns the Bible and Judaism and
okay, okay.
being Jewish.
I don't know if what I'm asking is stupid, but from what I remember in the Jewish religion,
It's
the fact that you're Jewish is passed
yeah,
by mother, not by father. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then why the biggest leaders of the religion are male and not female? But because you just said
What do you
boys
mean?
are more prone to go in the religious school, which I imagine it means that most of the leaders are male and not female.
It's not about who carries the Jewish
Okay,
part in
okay.
religion.
I come from Christianity, where
It's like if you're born to a Jewish if you're born to a Jewish mother, then you're considered Jewish by the Jewish religion. But it has no concern to who goes to a yeshiva or who's Orthodox or not. It's if you're going to a yeshiva, you're probably Orthodox,
Okay.
very.
Okay. And after you go back from the military, finally you can go to university.
No. Most of the people that I personally know left Israel for about 6 to 8 months, depending on where they wanna. Most of them went to India, uh, and some of them went to Australia, and they went to do whatever they wanted to do and be carefree and think about nothing and be obligated to nothing for about 6 to 8 months. And then when they come back, if they so choose, they can go to university.
Okay. So if it is like this in this university of a very, very huge age gap as well.
We are, yeah, we have a gap in terms of university compared to the rest of the world, unless we give up military. Yeah, we finish the army at about 21, 22, and then we can do whatever we want. We can go to the university, or we can go travel, or we can go to work.
Or you can stay in the
There's a
army, I guess.
choice. You can. There is a way for you to stay in the army for 7 more years, and then they ask you to do a degree
Oh,
that concerns your occupation in the army. And then, if you do the degree, then they sign you up for a few more years.
oh, so it really works like a company, and they pay you for the
In,
degree, I guess.
of course,
Interesting.
you get better pay. You get better pay if you actually do that. And if you study 2 more years before you join the army, you actually have a lot of potential of staying in the army until you're about 45 or 48, which is the retirement age from
Which
the
means you get
army.
a pension. Wow,
Yeah,
that's early. Is it the same if you work? Do you get a pension at 45?
where
Ah, okay, military privilege.
no, when you work, you women get the pension at about, I think it's 68, and men 72. I think,
I
if I'm
thought
not
Italy
mistaken.
65 and England I never understood because I gave up the idea of ever having a pension anyway. Um, okay, and university wise, I guess you have everything.
We work until um yeah, but you have to do like tests to determine if you can go to certain areas that you want to study. It's a complicated process for me to explain because I don't know much about it. I didn't try and go to university,
Okay,
so
um, okay.
I gave I
Well,
gave up on
me
that.
too. So I'm not a,
You have to have you also have to have very good grades when you're also in school to spare you from doing a lot of tests before you join university. So you really have to put all of yourself in school and to join the university and really study what you want to study, or work very hard later on upgrading your grades to fit the whatever you want to learn
and
in
once you
university.
enter, is it free or not?
No, it's expensive.
Okay. Why do I
It's
have the feeling
expensive.
that the government doesn't want too many people to go to university?
No, it's they well, we have like what is it called when they give a scholarship? We have scholarship,
Okay.
scholarships given to people under certain circumstances. But university is expensive from what I gather, because a year costs a lot. It's in the tens of thousands shekels.
Okay. So American
So
style.
it's
But that means that you
yeah,
can send your child. You're old enough. You can go
you can
abroad
take
to
low.
study or not.
Yeah, you can if they accept foreigners to study in their system. You can. You can choose
Okay.
to.
Which opens for me a huge new part. Like, where can you go with an Israeli passport?
Anywhere that's not Muslim,
Okay.
that is
So most Europe, America.
that, that most of the countries, yeah. Well, we except for very Muslim countries that say that you can't go there. Not by our government, but it's like no Jews allowed. Like
Now I remember that I met two people from Israel. They said when they travel to Muslim country they use the other passport, but it was still a risk.
yeah, it's a risk. You can, but it's a risk. It's your own risk if you choose to.
But they have a problem
Um,
because of the religion, or they have a problem because of the country.
I think it's I think it's both in a
Okay,
way,
that's my total ignorance.
because it's very hard to separate the religion from the country here.
Yeah,
So I
but I
think
mean,
it's both in a way.
you can be Hebrew and live in Italy, and then I guess you can travel everywhere.
Jewish
Sorry,
and
yes.
Hebrew is no, it's okay, it's okay. But yeah, it's you can be Jewish and live other places, but it's different. You can't really separate the religion from the country here. It's a long
No,
story.
I think I know a bit more. Italy has these amazing abilities to switch side in every conflict
Hmm.
based on how it's going. Um, but we are great. Like I was
Okay.
talking with a friend I didn't know. Mussolini was in the government when the Americans arrived. So the first thing that the government
Hmm.
did was to fire him. That was the absolute first thing when they start collapsing. Was like we want to ask the king to go back in charge. So when the American arrived, it was like we are with you.
Okay.
But and so I know
Oh
we did the
wow.
same with Israel. We had like 10 years of they're horrible people, and then we switch or the other way around. But we are really great in changing our mind every once in a while when it's needed. And that's the Italian politics in a nutshell. Whatever is useful. Um, okay, so
Yeah.
great. You can travel. So if you want to come to Europe, you can stay as long as you want, or you have like 3 months visa.
No, I think it's 3 months. Yeah, and you have to have a visa in most places. You have to apply for a visa for certain countries, America specifically. Uh, I think that I didn't actually need a visa for my travels to. No, I didn't need a visa
Okay.
for Serbia or Prague.
Wow.
I can just go and stay until my stay is unwelcomed anymore. Then I have to leave for
Assuming
after 90
you only
days,
have one
I
passport.
think. Yeah, and I think that most Israelis that I know have only one passport. Not that I asked if they have one more.
Okay.
I don't
Okay. I
usually
assume a
ask.
lot have more than one because the country it is new in a way. Well, Yeah, I never really looked into it.
They, from what I know, they don't ask other people to give up other nationalities. But some immigrants do give up on their
Right.
nationality, like
Oh,
Russians.
what if Russia asks you? China asks you, so you cannot have two
They
citizenship if you're Chinese.
also, I think Canada doesn't allow
Okay.
two
America, you
citizenships.
keep paying taxes, so probably you want
Japan,
to drop it.
Japan, I know for sure that they don't want you to be a citizen
Yeah, but
anywhere else.
Japan is like one of those countries which are so strict on the concept of like there was something called Love Japan. There was a promotion of Japan
Hmm.
and the Japanese culture around the world. And because Italy was after a dictatorship, people really took it in. So everyone in Italy loved Japan. Everyone wanted to study Japanese. Everybody was looking Japanese cartoon, especially my generation. And I was into this spell for a while. And I started looking like, because my idea is if I love a country, I want to know I can go there and live there. Otherwise, there's no point for me in loving something that I cannot have whatsoever. And I remember this interview
Hmm.
of a Japanese girl saying like, "Oh no, we really like foreigners and we welcome them, blah blah blah." And of course, for your entire life, you will be a foreigner.
Yep, that's why I left. Uh, they are like that. They distinct you because you're not Japanese. You're taller, you're whiter, you don't have the features that make you Japanese.
Okay, so you
So
live there for a while.
it's a mosquito. I didn't live in Japan, no. I want to go with all my heart. I want to visit Japan at least for as long as I can, which is
Uh,
90 days.
Now, Joel said that, for example, there's a lot of German citizens that escape because of the Holocaust, so they end up having the double citizen. And about this story, because it's true, but for example, a friend, she tried to get the German citizenship back. She was the granddaughter. And when
Hmm.
she asked, they said, "Well, we cannot give it to you because your grandmother left Germany by her own will." It's like, yeah, but she left Germany
Oh, wow.
when Hitler was in power. It was like, yes, but it was by her own will. She didn't escape. She just traveled away.
That's a way to manipulate
So I
bureaucracy.
guess there's a certain day after which they consider that you are escaping a war, and before that, they would just you choose to change countries. So it's your problem.
Yeah.
But
So my grandmother and mother actually applied for the Bulgarian citizenship to get it back after my grandmother's family left Bulgaria during uh, the
yeah,
Holocaust.
well,
So they
okay.
got it back. My mother is
But
a
you don't get a
Bulgarian
citizenship.
citizen. No, I don't. It's not automatically with them.
Okay,
No. I don't get it because I'm her daughter. It doesn't work like that.
interesting. No, I don't actually know how it works. I always wonder if I would have a child, if it would be British or Italian or both, or neither. I don't know. Question for the future.
It all depends on the
Depends where I
borders.
am, I guess. I actually asked the lawyer when I got the British citizenship, but they didn't really have an answer. And I guess the laws change over time, and
Hmm.
and so on. Okay. Um,
So
yeah. Now I'm trying to figure out where. So you said Japan, and your daughter is studying Japanese.
she listens to Japanese more than speaks or reads. I am learning Japanese. I'm the Japanese source in the household.
Okay. Why Japan and all? China or another?
Japanese is very, it resonates with my inner voice, I guess. That's what I call it. When you find a language that really makes you feel like you can think in it too. Because ever since I was a kid, English was the main language that I thought in, except for Hebrew. So when you listen to yourself think, do you think in Italian or in English? So that's the main language that you feel. So when I think about how Japanese sounds, it resonates with my inner voice. So the same expressions, the same way of surprise or and stuff like that. So in my head,
Nice,
it fits. It works.
nice. Yeah, I never studied Japanese. I never even thought of it. I wanted to learn Spanish in life. But
It's it's easier to pronounce than to write. When you have the same vowels that they have, it's easy because we do have the same vowels, except for uh, small things like ti and su, which is a little bit different. But most of the vowels we have the same vowels, so it's easy to speak.
okay. So if you go there, what's your level now? Can you order coffee? Can you have a basic conversation?
Maybe a basic conversation. I'm very nervous to try because I'm the kind of person where if my language is not perfect, then I would prefer not to speak it, and I'm really scared of embarrassing myself. But I know that I can introduce myself properly, and I can ask for basic things like water and food, and I can order food. I can read whatever's on the
Now,
menu,
now I'm thinking if we have Japanese
some of
players,
it.
you should find someone from Japan.
I think that you do maybe one or two, but I don't think that
I
there's
don't remember
many.
because I remember people from Singapore, but Singapore speaks English
Yeah.
a lot, so it should be a bit easier. But you should find someone to talk with. We will find someone for you. Let
Maybe.
me check how many. I don't even know if I have a way to know how many people are from
Or
Japan.
me.
That's the amazing thing. I have no idea of statistics. I mainly base myself on the chat and what the chat says, and and I
Yeah.
don't remember someone from Japan, but you are there. I think even more than me. Actually, probably you're there a lot more than me.
Yeah, I am. But I don't remember anyone specifically saying that they're from Japan. But
No, I remember a day which I said like I cannot
I
read
can
every message. I have to give up because I did it for probably the first 8 months, and it was really eating my life. Okay, uh,
no,
no worries.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I have a feeling someone wrote in the chat that it's
Sorry.
Japanese, but I have no idea what he wrote because he wrote in Japanese. So,
Let me.
no, don't
You
worry. I'm,
want
I'm
me
just
to?
actually I can paste it to you. Maybe you know before Google because my computer is super slow now because of all the services. Here you
I
are.
can. I can actually look.
I think it would be a nightmare if you try to open multiple
Let me
things.
try. That's a
Yeah.
kanji.
Well, one is high and
Which
the other one
kanji
I
is
don't
it?
know. And now it's becoming a babel of languages.
He wrote
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in Hebrew
Super amazing. I love this
below
part
it.
of life. I will never find out quickly where players are from. But I will check later. I will tell you later
Yeah,
how many. I think I can know how many downloads I get from
that's
Japan.
That's
Really?
Chinese. Yeah. Well, there is the thing where the Japanese
Right.
kanji are actually Chinese letters, Chinese words more like it. Um it's borrowed from the
I
Chinese.
know.
So
There's a level in the game which can be translated as Chinese or Japanese, and some people got angry because they went the other way around, and then they wrote to me that the hints were incorrect. But they were very correct for when I wrote the level. It just they used
okay,
the same kanji for the same word because it's probably one of the like common words.
okay.
But it was funny. Okay, I'm giving up trying to figure out those numbers. I'm not able.
Okay.
Oh, Farid, hello. Can you please talk about a common Israeli stereotype and debunk it? That's a good question. What is a common stereotype?
A common Israeli stereotype. Uh,
I cannot say a word since I'm not there.
I
It's
don't
better if I don't guess.
common Israeli stereotype. Well, I don't think I can think of anything in particular. But but I think that when they say that we have chutzpah, have you ever heard of that? Chutzpah
Nope.
and the tenacity. We're very blunt people.
Okay. That doesn't sound like a stereotype. That sounds like a positive thing.
Is it? It
I would
depends.
consider being stubborn as a good
Depends on
thing.
the situation. Okay. It's more. It's not as stubborn. No, it's Israeli stereotypes. I don't think of any stereotype I can
Let's see if in the
debunk
chat someone comes with something.
unless you unless you give me an
I know
example.
Italy
Give me an
usually is
example.
like that people eat pasta every day, which I think is actually quite true. And they don't respect the law, which is quite true.
I thought it was pizza.
Um, well, you can definitely pizza. Pizza is one of those things that you can buy anywhere at any time, but I think it's the same everywhere in Europe. I don't think Italy's special about that. I think Italy is
Okay.
special about telling that the pizza in their city is the best pizza of the world. On
Uh-huh.
on that,
That's
yes.
different.
Yeah.
Israeli stereotypes.
Talk about
For
Israeli being
me,
careful with money.
careful with money. I wouldn't say that they're careful with money. They okay, so being careful with money. I think that Israelis have the common citizen. Second,
It's
I need
actually nice
light.
like this. If you feel better,
Yeah.
I can see you very well. So up to you.
Okay. It's okay. Then I'll leave it like that. So being careful with money. A lot of the common people don't have money to put aside. We don't have money to like keep or save unless we really cut back on things and live what you call poorly to save up money or take loans. But being careful with money is only for businessmen or bankers or people that have it to be careful with it. I don't, I never had I think maybe I had a savings account and that savings account was gone very fast.
Okay. How's the welfare there? Like if you lose your job, do you have a good social system that keeps you afloat or
Our our social system is one of the most social systems there are. Because if you lose your job after only a few months, You can apply for a monthly fee until you get a new job from the government. You get a certain amount of money that keeps you afloat until you find another job. And people that work for social services actually call you up or send you messages and tell you, oh, this place needs workers, this place needs workers, go to this interview, that interview. So they keep you up and they tell you, like, oh, there are jobs here. You should go and try and work. But they keep you afloat.
Italy just tried to do the same thing. So they said, if you don't have a job, we will give you money, like, so you have a certain amount, and then we will hire people to tell you how to find a new job. And if you refuse 2 jobs, you
It's
lose the money, which
it's
was the most complicated part.
hmm, I don't think that they threaten us that we'll lose that money, but there's a certain time where you get uh, the monthly money that at some point it stops. So you have to find a job. You have to start working. You can take advantage of it to a point, but not forever. There are exceptions where you're handicapped or uh, unable to work because of certain things that cost you your job, like a
Okay.
motorcycle accident that left you paraplegic. They're not going to take your money away because you can't work. You're 100% handicapped. So they take care of you. You get monthly fees for it, yeah, to stay at home.
Okay. We have the same, but in Italy it's so low. I never really looked into it, but from what people say, you get like a fourth of a basic salary. So it's impossible to live out of that money alone.
Hmm.
Also, because if you are a disability, you have higher expenses than average. If most of the time you need someone to help you and so on.
Hmm. Also, our HMOs are actually universal. I mean, there isn't one citizen in Israel that's not uh, uh, socially secured. They all pay monthly out of their salary. People, our employers, move some of our monthly salaries to Social Security. So
Yeah.
it's paid monthly. Uh, so we all have somewhere to fall back on if we lose our job, if we uh, lose our ability to work. So there isn't one that's not secured.
Okay. And the other thing I was thinking about, what about crypto? Since now Bitcoin is going higher and higher, how is crypto in your country? Can you buy crypto?
Yes, but you have to, I think, it's like regular taxes. You have to pay taxes for it, like you pay tax for anything else. You can't really withdraw your money everywhere. There's only, I think, one ATM machine for
Yeah, that's fine.
cryptocurrency in Tel Aviv. Uh, and there aren't actually a lot of places that receive cryptocurrencies as payment for now. I think that maybe in the future we might have more.
Well, I think that's the direction. Um, I don't know about withdrawing money. I remember in Bali there was a place, but I never visited it, where you can withdraw money from a guy. Uh,
We withdrew money from an ATM in Prague, if I'm not mistaken.
I knew there was one in London next to my previous house, but again, I never tried. Because in Europe, you can withdraw from the exchange, they send it to your bank account, so I never
Hmm.
bother. Uh,
That was really nice, the ATM. It gave you like a long receipt, and then it says, "Oh, we're going to send you a message in 5 minutes when your money's going to be ready to withdraw." And then we wait around, and then the message came, and
and
it
then you
was
scan the
really
receipt
nice.
again and you get the money, I
The
guess.
ATM. Yeah, it was a nice experience
I,
actually
I was thinking
too.
now about making a video on crypto. Um, actually, I already wrote it, and I wasn't sure how much do I want to go into the technology, and how much I want to go into the
Mm-hmm.
like economical implication, which I'm a bit more interested in than technology.
Okay.
But it might be because the technology it's easier, so I care less about the part I don't
Yeah.
understand than the part I don't really fully understand. Okay, there are.
Yeah. My
Sorry,
husband tried.
try to invest.
My husband tried cryptocurrency investment and
Yeah.
mining, what you call mining. He tried to do that with a few friends, but it's a lot of you have to invest a lot of money in it before you start actually making money.
Now,
So
yes.
it's
I
kind of
mean,
difficult.
when I started looking into it, I think 2-3 years ago, what everyone told me was like the best thing you can do is buy Bitcoin, forget about it. I should have listened.
Hmm.
I just lost practically everything trying to do trading on something I know nothing about, understand nothing about. And actually, that's why I wrote my
Hmm.
first up to try to understand a bit more by using what I know instead of. So, Mutzer asks, how good is the healthcare system and how expensive are doctors?
Not as expensive as people would think because it's part of the social security whole. So HMOs are very accessible because they give all the basic services like family doctor, blood work. And if you want to see specialists, it's under your monthly pay, which is very small, within the less than 200 shekels a month. And if you really want to go for the premium, the highest one, so it goes to almost 300 shekels, but never not more. But specialists and others are partially funded by the HMO because you pay it
HMO is
monthly.
the
So
public.
specialists costs, yeah, it's a private. It's like we have four major HMOs in Israel. Health. We I Yeah, when I googled the name for it in Israel, that's what it says, HMO. So that's what I'm
Okay.
using. I don't I never, but it's very accessible and specialists cost a lot less than what they would have if you weren't insured by the HMO. So
Okay.
it's very small compared. Even your hospital bills are taken care of by the HMO if you get referred to the hospital for anything that results in you being hospitalized. So your bills are very small when it comes to
Like,
your health
I,
care.
ne- I never had a health insurance.
And it's very nice. The whole the hospitals are very well. From personal experience, I was treated very well in the hospital from what I have been
Okay.
there. Um, it was nice. There's also a variety of everyone. Everyone's a variety, actually. In terms of people that work, we have uh, people from everywhere working as doctors or nurses. It's not only it's Israelis, it's not Jews. It's everyone.
Right.
The variety,
Yeah. Now I remembered. I
the
wanted to do a
cultures.
course with a doctor from Israel that was teaching in Italy as well. Um, yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't in the end, but it was fine. He did something called emotional washing, but he was a cardiologist in Israel. Just a weird connection,
Okay,
but the method was
it's okay.
a bit strange. Uh, Are there any Palestinians living within the Israeli borders? Any
Any what?
Palestinians living within the Israel border?
Um,
Okay.
like I said, we have Muslims and Christians and Hindu, and we have basically everything. We have Christian Russians and Christian Arabs and Muslim Arabs. We all live basically in the same neighborhoods. We're neighbors. We're not it's borders. We're not segregated in any way. Haifa is a very mixed city, which I used to live in the lower part of Haifa, which is considered a Muslim area, and we were neighbors, and everything was peachy. It was great, actually. They were amazing neighbors, very welcoming. We work together. We know each other. Even the country recognizes religious holidays that they have, and they can take a day off and still get paid by their religion, whether you're Christian or Muslim. It's yours to have, so the country gives you paid leave for your job. So
Everything
it's
sounds quite nice.
respected.
I always heard that it's also quite safe to be there.
Depends on, yeah, basically it is. It's not like you go down the street and it's all chaos everywhere. It's not like that. No, it, it all depends on where you choose
No,
to.
I mean in general in cities, because Italy is not super safe as a tourist in most touristic places.
Okay, as tourists, you can go to major cities
Yeah.
without any problem. It's just that more, let's say, religious cities like Jerusalem, you should probably take a guide to go and travel there. But Tel Aviv, Haifa, and anywhere in between, you don't really need a guide for it. It's just travel. You have a direct train line from Haifa to Tel Aviv. You can travel anywhere you
Yeah,
want.
it was one of the places that I was thinking about going, and then well, and then I had to stop traveling, like the world had to stop traveling.
Mm.
But yeah, that's a sad part of this life. Talking about amazing places, I'm not gonna say for a while. I guess for
But we will in the end. Nothing is
no, no,
eternal.
no. I think
Everything.
so. My hope is in 6 months to be able to travel again in Europe, and in a year to be able to travel again worldwide. Not that I don't like here, but it,
It has been
yeah.
difficult here because we're very warm people, and this pandemic actually caused us to be separated. We're very familial. We like our families together. We love our grandparents. We love our uncles, and we meet each other as families a lot. And the pandemic kind of separated us as families, and it's really
How's it
difficult.
going now? I think you have more vaccine than most of other countries. So
We actually have a lot of people vaccinated. We specifically still didn't get vaccinated because we are not at the top of the list. First of all, elderly and all kind of people that work, like doctors, nurses, and teachers actually are on the list now.
good.
So the education system can go back online. My daughter is at home for the second
Second
week
week.
now.
That's not much.
This,
But
it's I think the third
okay,
lockdown that
okay.
we have, or fourth. So every time they do like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they try to go back to normal, and then it proves difficult, and then they shut us down again.
Do you have a strong movement against vaccines?
Not that I associate
No,
with
no, no.
them.
But I mean,
Yeah,
is it
I don't know a lot of people that are anti-vax, but I do know that they exist
okay?
here as well. I I avoid contact. I do not have to
No,
explain
but in
myself.
Italy, I was surprised to find someone that wasn't against. Yeah,
That wasn't
yeah.
against
I mean,
vaccines.
when I met the first
Okay.
person, I said, "Oh, I hope I can do the vaccine." I was like, "Okay." So there is someone that is not against. That's good. Um,
Okay, there are a lot of
I
people
don't
that's
know. I'm
against the
not.
vaccines.
I mean, considering that I live isolated in a country and I practically don't meet anyone, I might have a very small sample around me.
Mm.
But that was my perception at the beginning that like everyone was against, and then I met a couple of people that weren't. So I thought, okay, then maybe there is
Hmm.
hope for.
If it's given to us, we do it. That's the approach. If if you
It's again
can, you do
very,
it. If
very
it's gonna help,
socialist
you
in a
do it.
way. It's more thinking of a
Yeah,
country.
it's a lot of it's a lot of the remnants of what we used to be as kibbutz. A lot of what you call brother. We're brothers. We actually call each other brothers and sisters as friends and as like I call my brother brother as brother, but I also call all my friends, my male friends, I call them brothers as well. It's like so, and when we turn to people, we if we don't know their name, we say, "Yo, brother,
Okay.
you forgot something," or "Your headlights," and same as a sister. So it's very familial. We like to we're
That's nice.
warm people. It's really hard because we like when we greet, we also kiss and hug. So it has
Yeah,
been
it is
difficult.
the same here. You know, kibbutz is the has been like a level I wanted to make from the beginning of the game. And after the third time I tried
Okay.
to find an image, I gave up. Because it was either,
And the image of a kibbutz, I think I have a
no, I
photo
found a
I might
few, but
send
there
to
was
you.
nothing that was clearly that. Because that's the characteristic of the game. You need to see the image and say, okay, that's what it is.
Mm. It's hard to specify a kibbutz with a
Yeah.
single picture because a kibbutz is more of an idea than a physical thing. Like the physical thing is a place that they live that's called a kibbutz, but it's so big that to fit it
No,
within a
but even
picture,
so, I
it's
mean, I think
difficult.
most of a circle structure, so you can use that, but still, it wasn't enough.
It's not
No, that's
clear,
why I gave
no.
up. Maybe I will put it in a video one day.
But the idea is nice. It's actually it was I think derived from the communism more than anything. So when you live together, you work
Yeah.
for the kibbutz, you pay for the kibbutz, and the kibbutz pays for itself by exporting the goods that you grow or do, or yeah. So it's income for the kibbutz, and you work for the kibbutz, and so the kibbutz makes money. And that's what it was. There are very few kibbutz uh, proper ones that are left today, all in the heights in the Golan, on the mountain ridge across borders to Jordan and
Yeah, I
Syria.
find out about them because someone proposed a digital nomad version of them. So I start researching a bit.
I know that there's a specific one that still accepts tourists to work in the kibbutz because I met a few friends in the kibbutz that they were tourists. I actually met a British guy called Gavin and a Japanese guy called Takashi and a South African guy called JP. And we actually, they were all together at the same time in the kibbutz and they were all working the orchards. And I got to know them through a friend that lived there at the time. It was really nice. was one of the best times of my life, actually. It was interesting because I was surrounded with people that were culturally different, and you meet a lot of people that are different, and it's very interesting. And that's why
I can imagine.
Imagzle has been the same experience for me because I met so many amazing people, and I speak to so many interesting people and learn very interesting things.
That's very
So
different
it's
depending on
thank.
which chat you enter, because the English
Mhm.
one has a huge variety. If you enter in the Italian one, it's one country, and you don't have that feeling. So it's very different. And they grew as
Yeah,
community, and that's something I love, because then every chat has its own like character over time. Um,
yeah. But it's good that in the Italian group that they grow as a community together.
yeah, but then you have like inside jokes, inside memes, and they do different things. So
But
it's interesting.
don't everyone have it?
Yeah, but for example, for a while, the Spanish chat had their own rule about no politics, no football. It,
Mhm. Oh
which
wow,
I was
no
very
football.
surprised. And well, actually, I missed it was happening, so that was probably my fault. And then I try to keep everything as free as possible. I really don't like any kind of censorship of limitation, except the legal one.
Hmm.
Like I need to delete porn, because that can be a huge issue for a channel.
Yeah.
And also because I realize there are underage players, even if in theory I think you cannot play if you're underage. Recently, I'm even thinking that I should remove a couple of levels, since it seems that the way Google enforce underage is not actually that good. So I might remove
Okay.
the torture device and the other level. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm thinking of that, but I think I will soon. But yeah,
yeah.
the, the English group has this amazing characteristic of having. Probably I should put a link to the English group in every language if you want to enter that, instead of tidying up.
Yeah, sure.
That's not a good
Why
thing.
not?
Yeah, I will.
So, in terms of what did I want to say? I forgot what I wanted to say.
When you wear the kibbutz that has some foreigners, you meet Japanese and a lot of other people, then you move to Imagzle.
It was really fun, and that's equivalent to what happens now. Only it's not in person. It's not like it was then. We didn't walk around the city or the kibbutz and spoke and joked around face to face. We just do it on chat now, but it's basically the same experience for me. Only it's even wider because the variety of the people that are in the group reaches the farthest sides of the world with you and Imagzle because
Yeah.
it's nice and it's I'm a talkative person. I like
Yeah,
talking to
likewise.
people.
We should try the voice chat, because now they have voice chat. So that's the next thing we should
Okay.
try in the group, is to have
Where?
voice chat.
Yeah, yeah, it could be nice. I saw because they had like a flow of users all of a sudden, which I assume it was something about Facebook,
No, so the flow
but
of
I am
user has
not
been
sure.
because WhatsApp changed the terms and condition.
So it's Facebook.
WhatsApp is Facebook.
Yeah.
And so when they changed the terms and condition, there's been a lot of people that migrated, and some of them don't fully understand the implication, but
Okay. I didn't know that. I have been using Telegram for a very long time, even before I joined the groups.
have fun.
So it was my husband's influence because he said, "Well, I don't like his terms and conditions on WhatsApp, and I don't want to use it anymore. So let's leave it. Let's go to Telegram to have
So
our conversations." And then slowly but surely, friends
I think
started
the problem
joining.
is Telegram is much worse unless you use it securely. And that's what I don't like. So if you chat with someone on
Okay.
Telegram, unless you create a private chat, it's not encrypted. It lives on the server. It can be read later. And that's clear because
Hmm.
if you have your phone off and you join from a laptop, you can see the chat. So that's
Hmm.
why it's very clear. But for some reason, everyone imagining Telegram has been the most secure, and that create a very false perception of security on Telegram, which I pretty dislike.
It's less security that we spoke about. It's more anonymity, I
Yeah,
think, that they put a thing on. It's like your anonymity, less than your, because in WhatsApp you can't send a message to someone and they won't see
correct.
your phone number. In Telegram, you can choose to whom you show your phone number. So it's your anonymity more than
Correct.
your
That's why
security.
the group is not on WhatsApp because I tried and WhatsApp group did not have a way
Hmm.
to hide the phone number. But at the same time, if I'm worried about um, keeping my phone number private, I can create a phone number for WhatsApp. That's it. But on
Yeah.
Telegram, if a government want to read all my chats, or if a hacker will ever crack their server, then they can read every conversation, see every picture, and that for me a bit more worrying in the long run because I don't consider my phone number private at all. It's on my website. Actually, because of how Google works,
Hmm.
my home address is on the Google Store, so my privacy is zero.
I uh, I tried to. I didn't delete my Facebook, but I did kind of let go of all kinds of social medias. I don't go to them. I don't browse in Instagram or Facebook. I just talk to people on Telegram or on WhatsApp if they're still there. So that's all I do.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of friends
And
moving to
it's like
Signal, so I have Signal installed as well now. It's,
sometimes work needs social networks because that's how uh,
yeah,
jobs do now, and businesses they work on social networks like now.
yeah, no, so work we use Weaker for security, which
Yeah.
again there's so many. Great, Daria joined as well, so he's animating the chat. That's nice. I think I took enough of your time. It's 1 hour and a half, and it is later at your place. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I think at this
11:30. Yeah.
point we will say if we start collecting other questions at the bottom of the chat, we will make another live and answer them. That
I wouldn't mind that at all. Maybe next time it'll be like less chatter
it is
and
not.
more answering
Yes,
questions, because I kind of strayed off subjects. And
I would be much worse than you. I I talk forever. I need to really control myself to be on one subject. Okay, so let's close it here. Um, and actually,
yes.
that's more or less my training time because the day I work, I need to train at night, which is a bit more tiring. But
Yeah. You're drinking,
water.
is that
Yeah.
water? Or, yeah? Because the glass is blue, so it looks like it's
No,
blue.
the glass is blue,
And
but
I
it's
like
water.
blue.
I don't use glasses when I'm alone, but last time I did a live, they told me it's not classy to drink from a bottle. So
Okay. Anyone does what anyone wants. I think classy is a matter
Yeah, but
of
it was funny because
perception.
that was the only feedback I got for that live. Like 1 hour live, like, can you give me anything to improve? Do not drink from the bottle. I was like, okay. Clearly, drinking from a bottle is horrible.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm not gonna argue
thanks a
that.
lot. I will stop the live here. Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for animating the chat. That was super nice. Um, and have a good day. Okay, that's